On this episode, we review Disney's 50th anniversary celebration in part one of a two-part series. Today is October 5th, 2021. This is episode 397 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and I am joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. And if you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. If you hit subscribe, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And then if you want even more content, we had so many live streams this past weekend to our amazing Patreon group, Wonderland Crew. You can go back and watch those if you go to wonderlandcrew.com, check out our Patreon, and join the all-access crew. And then if you visit msmfriends.com, you can check out some of our wonderful partners. But finally, if you're getting ready to plan that 50th anniversary Disney World trip, or you're going to another Disney park, a Universal destination, cruise, or pretty much anywhere else in the world that you can currently visit, head to msmears.com to learn more about our wonderful travel partner, Melissa Pilgrim with Ears of Experience, and fill out a form for a free quote. So we are fresh off of our Walt Disney World 50th anniversary trip, which will be going on for the next 18 months, but we wanted to be there, I guess you call it opening day on October 1st.
Yep.
50 years to the date that Walt Disney World opened. So this is going to, if you just listened to Friday's episode where we kind of wished Walt Disney World a happy anniversary, it was a very loose episode, I will say. No notes. This one does have some notes, but they are the notes that I put literally in my phone note app. Just as things happen, I quickly jot stuff down. I don't even look through them. I don't even know if they make sense. But that's all we're going to go off of. And we're just going to discuss our trip, basically.
Okay.
So let's start off a little bit first, because we were originally going down on Thursday, September 30th. So we could make sure that we were there bright and early on October 1st, that Friday, to go to Walt Disney World, to go to Magic Kingdom, I should say. We were going to do Epcot on Saturday. We were going to make sure we saw Enchantment Friday night on its opening night. We wanted to see Harmonious originally on its second night. As they soft opened it on September 29th, we thought, let's get down there early. Let's go a day early. And we talked a little bit about the Home 2 suites just last episode, if you want to hear our thoughts on that, where we stayed for one night. But we wanted to go down and take a little pressure off of ourselves, I think, for that Saturday.
Yes,
by
absolutely.
seeing Harmonious Wednesday night.
Yes, absolutely.
But the first thing we did is we had to check out the all-new Creations shop. Give your thoughts on Creations shop design, how it compares to not only the old and beloved mouse gears, but even the temporary mouse gears, which didn't feel so temporary when it was there.
Right. Yeah, it was very bright. It was neat because it had all your, sections of toys, of jewelry, of all kinds of stuff. And it's just bright and clean and I guess fun is the right word.
I think so.
Yeah, so we talked about that a little bit. And then when we did go on Saturday, I guess a little disappointing was most of the stuff that you could get in the Big Top Circus was at the Creation shop.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit, I guess, more about that here in a few minutes. So we'll kind of pause that just for a second, and then we'll talk more about it in just a few minutes. But yeah, I love the shop. I think it's bright. I think it's beautiful. I think it's colorful. I think it's modern. I think a lot of people are still trying to hold on to what Epcot was and aren't trying to accept the fact that it's going to be something very different.
Yeah,
and absolutely. I actually like the direction that it's heading. I thought it was very kind of artful and playful, and I really enjoyed the shop. I think it is a great addition. I think it's a wonderful replacement of mouse gears, and we loved mouse gears very, very much.
Yeah.
So I really did enjoy it. We went ahead and we were going to, walk around World Showcase a little bit, get ready for Harmonious.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we were going to have to line up early. Luckily, our friends Wayne and Amanda were there, and they had gotten a spot in France, and they said, hey, there is room. Come join us. So we could hang out with them and see them. So we went and posted up hour and a half probably prior to showtime at 9 p.m. Let's talk Harmonious, which is Epcot's brand new show. It is its third show in only like the past 2 years, basically. This is coming off the heels of a Epcot Forever reopen that didn't quite have everything going, like, the little jet ski kite things and all. Of course, Illuminations was always very loved. Give thoughts on Harmonious. And before you go, we watched from France. Then just prior to sitting down to record, we watched a video of it.
We did.
Because we wanted to make sure that we could accurately talk about it, because what we saw in France compared to the video we just watched were 1,000,000,000% different.
It was a lot different. I wouldn't say that much, but I would say a lot. It just, we couldn't see the projections on the arms or the whatever they're called.
Yeah, we couldn't see the barges. Really, from France. They were blocked by those trees and some of those islands.
Well, and again, I was live streaming to our Patreon group, Wonderland Crew, and I need to go back probably and watch that video, because here's the hard part. I was trying to look through that as well.
Yeah.
So I felt like I really just watched it sitting on the couch, and it was fantastic.
The one we just watched. Because it wasn't, I wouldn't call it fantastic from France, because we missed so much.
Right. And I would say to, try to get a better spot, I've heard Japan is
I'm going to say Japan or front of World Showcase, between those two shops there. Now, of course, the night we were there, that was all reserved for media, so you couldn't even get there.
Right.
One of our friends, Scott Atwood from the Main Street Mouse, was in Norway, and he said he actually had a really good view.
Okay. I
would just say, as you're posting up, make sure that these barges aren't obstructed, because they are the majority of the show.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. I agree after watching.
So France aside, or obstructed view aside, let's really focus more on the video we just watched.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a really, really good show.
I agree.
What do you think?
I agree. And I think it's really cool, all the different languages that start singing some of the songs. And, I feel like this is more of a sing-along soundtrack, basically.
Yeah, they're all the songs we know and love from the movies. And they're representing all of the countries of World Showcase, which is cool.
Yeah. I do feel like there was a little almost repetitiveness where they kind of like did Lion King at one point, and I felt like they did it again, and I'm like, we're not in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was absolutely great, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I look forward to going back and watching it in a different spot. Maybe even try a Rose and Crown package, dining package, because we love there. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to almost pretend like we saw it that first night, because what we just saw on TV I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And
Good.
I came out of there Wednesday night like, I don't know if this is a good show, because we didn't get to really see it.
Right.
It is my only downfall if you're there in person, is I do feel like Illuminations, even Epcot Forever, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but we also saw what I'll call B mode.
Right.
I felt like you could have almost a good viewing spot anywhere around World Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't the case here, which stinks.
Yes, I will agree with that, because in the past it did seem like you could just kind of like, they'd start and then you're like, oh wait, let me just stand right here.
And that's why we were like, we should be fine in France.
Right.
We've watched Epcot Forever from there. We've watched Illuminations from there. They were good spots.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose they could, you could keep, well, first of all, you have that giant center barge that is the giant circle that is doing, water projections on it.
Right.
That is technically only going to truly be looked at head on from Japan or the front of World Showcase. Whereas, with Illuminations, you had the globe, which was a 360 view.
Right.
So if you're on the side of this, you're going to miss a little.
Yep.
I almost do wish that the other barges with the arms and the screens on them maybe could be pulled out closer. Like there could be one that you could see clearly from France.
Mm-hmm.
Would be cool. But no, like you said, soundtrack, it's all the songs we know and love. They're representing movies from every country in the World Showcase. It's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
The fireworks are so well timed with
yeah.
what's happening with the barges and the projections on there. Some
really
things
like
are
the
changed up a
fireworks.
little bit. Like I really, really enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
this show a lot.
I did
A
too.
heck of a lot more than I thought I was going to
Oh, well, good.
after Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So that would just be our tip: is make sure you have that
Yes.
really, really good spot.
Yeah.
Right prior to Harmonious, I ran to Rose and Crown. I was going to go ahead and get myself a beverage to enjoy while watching Harmonious.
Mm-hmm.
And standing outside is Jeffrey Epstein. And no, not that one. He even says that in his Twitter profile, which I think is funny. And he's the host of the D23 Inside Disney podcast. And I saw him standing there. I was getting ready to get in line for Rose and Crown. I tapped him on the back real quick, and I just said, "Hey, love your podcast, love what you're doing." And he was there with his whole team.
Wow.
So like his producer was there,
Wow.
and like I think so it was some of the like PR folks. I mean, because this is D23's podcast. This
Mhm.
is not like us who don't
Right,
work for Disney.
right.
This guy works for Disney, and him and his producer probably stood there and talked to me for close to 10 minutes, and they were so nice, and they were just asking. I was like, we have a podcast, and they're like, oh well, why'd you start it, and what's it about, and how'd you get into that, and it was just, they were so genuine and generous. And I always love if you get to meet someone that you kind of look up to in a sense.
Mhm.
Certainly that's something that we could aspire one day to say. It'd be cool to do like a professional Disney podcast in a sense. And just to see they're that, genuine. And you can tell when someone is genuine and when someone's like, I'm the host of D23. I need to be nice to this guy. But meanwhile,
Yeah.
they're like kind of glancing at their watch, or they're like looking over your shoulder, like what's over there? Like they were just locked in and in tune and seemed like they were genuine in, hey, this is somebody we kind of want to chat with. So I just thought that was really, really cool.
That is, babe.
Um,
Very proud. Happy for you. Proud.
Beacons of light. As we walk out on Spaceship Earth,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to talk about a lot of things that Disney has done for the 50th.
Yeah.
This might be up there as one of the best because
It was really cool.
Spaceship Earth has never, ever looked so good.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, it was neat to see them during the day, the beacons of light, because they're like those like little, like, I feel like they almost look like cameras, or I don't know what
yeah,
they
you can
like.
see them spotted
you
in
can
each of the
see
little
'em.
triangular
It's so
parts
cool.
on the dome.
It's
Yeah.
really cool though.
They're
And
not doing anything, but you can kind of see. And I
Yeah.
feel like it adds a little bit of
Yeah, it's
elements
really
for
cool.
sure.
But yeah, that was neat to see, and then to see it lit up was just breathtaking, really.
And it's like, it's like waves of different color lights that all of a sudden, like Spaceship Earth on the outside comes to life.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. And then we're walking out, and that was the night that they debuted the new LED lighting packages underneath the monorails.
Oh yeah,
And
that
so
was
as
cool.
the monorail comes through and passes in the beacon of light, and Wayne got one of the best pictures ever. Like,
Yeah, he
I think
did.
you could make calendars with that photo in it. It
Yeah.
was, I actually have to get him to send it to me. It was absolutely gorgeous seeing the monorail come through, and it's lit up, and the beacons of light behind you as you're exiting the park.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you got to be able to see that thing from space now, I feel like.
Okay.
Like, I would love to see how high up you, like, imagine being an airplane that's flying anywhere near, that's allowed in any of the airspace.
Huh.
Like, I think it would
You think
look,
you could see it?
I feel like you could.
Okay.
It was
We'll
so
have to
cool.
ask David and Athena.
Yes, we will. No, highly, highly recommend making sure you see that. So as we exited, we had drove over there since we were staying at home to suites off property. So we had to take our car. How's getting out, Rhonda? It was an experience that I'd never want to go through again in my entire life. It took us 2 hours to get back to our resort.
So we saw that when we were finally leaving, that one of the exit ramps, or one of the ramps to go back to hotels, was completely shut down. And I think the next day we figured out that I think they were working on what like bricks, like stuff around there. That's why this was shut down. So I guess we had to be detoured or whatever. And yeah, we got to our car and I was like, all right, everybody, this is the closing ceremony. So basically everybody's got to get out.
Yeah, park's closed.
So we went to our car and just sat there. And I mean, nobody was moving. So I was like,
I've never seen anything like that.
And I'm like, did something, accident happen?
Yeah.
Did something? So yeah, it was crazy.
It really was.
We each had a seat because we were in our car. I mean, it was a bummer to get back that late.
Yeah.
But this was Wednesday night. We had no plans Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We could sleep in at Home 2 Suites. We could eat breakfast, and then we'd mosey on over to Coronado and check in.
Mm-hmm.
So I really tried to keep, it was very hard, but I really tried to keep a positive spin on what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, stuff happens.
It does. And I mean, it doesn't help that obviously there was probably hundreds of thousands of people there.
Well, not hundreds of thousands, but there's a lot
sure?
of people there. It felt like there were hundreds of thousands. But no, I mean, you did. You had, you had media that was all exiting. You had all the people that came in that were exiting. You had, and then for there to be a rampway shut down, it just, again, stuff just happens. But, we were talking about our weekend. So I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got up Thursday morning. We knew we were going to move over to Coronado Springs for the next 3 nights. And we were going to kind of make it a little bit of a relaxing resort style day, knowing that Friday was going to be a very early and long day. We got over, luckily, our wonderful friend and cast member, Annette, was working.
Yes.
Who's just the absolute sweetest. If you get if you're in Coronado, she's one of those that if you see, please say hello to her because she is so nice. Yeah. We love seeing her every time. And we first met her at the opening of Grand Destino Tower because she was working in the Kronos Club. And started to just see her every time we came. It's just so neat because, like, she's, the past 2 years, think of how much the girls have changed in the past 2 years at the ages they're at. And it's just neat because when she sees them too, she's like, oh, like Kaylin, she's like, I love your hair. It's new, because Rhonda colored it last week, a new kind of color. And it's just so neat that she gets to like see them grow up in a sense. And then we get to see her each time. So, we had a beautiful, beautiful view of Villa del Lago because Grand Destino Tower, of course, is amazing. All of Coronado is, but you guys have heard that before. So Thursday, we did decide, Rhonda, that we were going to run over to Magic Kingdom. You were very smart and said, look, tomorrow is going to be insane. We know that there's going to be some merchandise that will drop on October 1st. But the Emporium's already filled with it.
Yes.
So why did we go over? What were we looking for? What's some stuff that we got? How do you like let's talk about the initial 50th merch that was available in the Emporium.
Yeah.
And then we'll later in a little bit talk about the Big Top Souvenir style merchandise.
Well, of course, the Emporium is always fun to go through and everything. And then of course it's got the 50th merch in these 2 rooms basically. And yeah, they had tons of soap dispensers. That's actually on Shop Disney now. They had all kinds of stuff. They didn't have my pajamas size-wise because Kat and Jossie and I want to get some. But I spoke with an amazing cast member, and everything that was in there is going to be replenished for 18 months. Yeah. So I was fine not
so like maybe
it.
No need to freak out or hoard it and resell it on eBay or punch people over it is
Correct.
What we're thinking. Okay, I'm just checking.
And that's on Friday.
Yeah,
this
we'll
is
talk
still
about
on
that
Thursday. So it was really neat because I was like, all right, well, what do we want to get? Is there anything, I wanted the Pandora bracelet. And I got it. It was $160, but with pass holder discount, I got it for $130.
And this is bracelet and charm.
And charm.
A set,
Yep.
right? You'd say.
And $50 is gold, and Mickey is dangling from it in his iridescent jacket and blue pants.
Beautiful.
And then it is a silver bracelet, and on the bracelet it does say Walt Disney World 50th.
That's I know that it's like a full set and you got the bracelet and the charm. I think that's how many charms do you have? 20, something like that. That is my favorite charm. You now currently own. Honestly.
Yeah, it was neat because I do have Mickey's 90th birthday.
Yes, you do.
One where the 90th is in gold. Yeah, it's funny because I was trying to, right before we started recording, I was trying to look up if I could even add more charms to this bracelet. I'm not even sure. I'd have to ask somebody at Pandora. But anyways, I love just wearing it. It is a beautiful little bracelet. It's very like dainty and simple, but beautiful to me.
But they did sell out at Magic Kingdom then on Friday, correct? Did Rachel look, or I forget?
So the line was really long.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it was wrapping around. She was like, I'll wait. She hasn't messaged me yet, but she was heading over to Hollywood, and Hollywood Studios has that really beautiful Pandora store there. So I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping she gets it. But it was nice to get it out of the way because that's something I really wanted. Yeah. So I got that out of the way. I'm trying to remember.
We got soap dispensers out of the way.
Yeah,
we got, I'm actually trying to remember what else we got that day. Oh,
well,
how about the surprise of Mr. Stitch?
Oh, yeah.
Crashes the internet or crashes the Disney, whatever the heck they're calling it.
Yeah, let me go back real quick too. So not only did I want the pajamas to get out of the way, but Jeremy, like this really button-up blue 50th shirt that didn't have your size either. But again, 18 months. So it's going to be there.
What I found out, I think, is that as far as both the shirts and the pajamas, a lot of the clothing, it seems that a lot of people my exact body size are buying them because I was having a very, very hard time finding anything in extra large. Yep. But everything other than, again, your pajama size, those were just selling like crazy, I'm sure. Everything else, I felt like if I was a much smaller man or I was a much, much bigger man, I'd have had my fair pick of whatever I wanted. Yep. But I'll get that button up at some point. Yeah. And the pajamas are technically women's pajamas because of the way that the buttons are aligned. I'm still tempted to get some. Our good friend Adam got some and will wear them with pride. Yep. He's already worn them and he said they are amazing.
Yeah, and I look forward to getting them.
I gotta get him to send me a picture of him wearing them.
Yeah. So then, so we were just walking around Magic Kingdom and we walked by this lady that had the Stitch, and I knew it was the new Stitch, and I go, oh my God. And Jeremy's like,
it was the Jungle Book one. Well, I pointed her out. I go,
yeah, Jeremy, yep.
I tapped her on the shoulders right over in Liberty Square, and I just walked by, and she was sitting there, and I saw the Stitch on her lap, and I'm like, wait, that we don't have that one, and we had 8 of 8 so far. Yep. I got wood here. And so I tap around it. I'm like, what's that? And you're like, that's the Jungle Book Stitch.
Yeah, that's the newest Stitch.
We had not heard that it was out anywhere.
So
what does the site even say?
The site says it will not be released every time. Yeah. The site says it will not be released in U.S. Disney stores.
Yes.
And we are, last time I checked, we're in U.S.
We are.
And so anyways, I walked up to the lady and I was like, oh my goodness, where did you get him? And they proceeded to tell me basically Star Traders. So Jeremy and I'd say we walked a little faster than normal just because I was like a little nervous.
It was brisk.
It was a brisk walk. We started walking.
If you look up speed walk in the little GIFs that you can send like out on social media and all, we were kind of like that. We just didn't have the tracksuits. Yeah. But it was that little... Your butt's kind of clench and your legs just go a little quickie kind of thing. That's what we were doing. We got over there just in case. I'll tell you that.
We did. And thank God there was plenty, which was crazy. But I am so excited I got that out of the way. Next, we have 3 more. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but it's one of those things where the next time we're there, maybe I will just, if it doesn't drop, I'll just... go head over to Star Traders and see.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, Star Traders made sense because it's Stitch, you know, and they had Stitch's Great Escape there that's closed, of course. But it was just odd. It was just, and there were a ton of them. And nobody was like, everybody was just like, oh, look, there's a little Stitch Jungle Book. And we're there like, oh, God, it's here.
I'm like, oh,
Yep.
let's pick a good one. His ears,
you gotta
his
check
hands.
the ears. You got to check the ears.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was really, Magic Kingdom was very quiet that day.
Yeah,
kind of calm before the storm, but we wanted to get over. I'm so glad we did. So we headed back. We didn't do anything else there, really.
Nope.
We did get a popcorn bucket, the 50th anniversary popcorn bucket.
To get that out of the way as well.
This is one of your I'll call them the old school popcorn buckets. I'm looking at the ones we have as though somebody listening can see what I'm looking at and about to reference. But they're your standard popcorn bucket. They're not shaped like anything. That would come Friday, right?
Correct.
So we went ahead. We headed back to the resort. We decided, you know what? We're going to go eat at Three Bridges.
Almost rope dropping that.
Yeah, we pretty much rope dropped Three
to
Bridges. Yep. We were very hungry at this point, and got a wonderful lounge couch area with the girls.
Jamie was our waitress.
Jamie was our waitress. We got to see Steve.
Great.
We got to see Carson. Jess came by.
Yep.
So that was so good, of course, there. And then as we're leaving, we're just chatting with Carson and all a little bit as we exit. And a wonderful, wonderful listener comes up, Cheryl, and is like, Rhonda and Jeremy from Main Street Magic?
That was neat.
We're like, yes. And she was so sweet and so nice. And there is literally nothing I love more than when somebody comes up to say hello like that.
Yes.
And it's like, seriously, it's as we go through the rest of this episode, I did my best to take notes because we were so lucky to meet a lot of awesome people.
Yeah.
So I will apologize in advance if I leave anyone out.
Yes.
And you are listening, but
yes.
Cheryl was great. And I was so glad
sweet.
she came up.
Yep.
We love that more than anything. So we were getting ready to head up to the room and to bed, and I was like, you know what? There's going to be a little bit of a meet and greet. Tammy from the Magical Guide groups. If you are not a part of every single Magical Guide group on Facebook, go do it. There's ones for most all individual resorts, but then there'll be like the monorail resorts or the boardwalk area resorts. They have one for each park. It's a wealth of knowledge. They're really, really good groups. Not a lot of drama and stuff in them. And Tammy has done such an incredible job building these. So there's going to be kind of like a little bit of a meet and greet of people down there. So Kaylin and I walked down, met up with a bunch of people, hung out, and it was just so cool to connect with all kinds of people there. Finally met Jody that's in those groups, who's been hitting up so many Disney resorts lately. Like I just follow her and I'm like, oh, where are you at today?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Doug and his wife, they're wonderful. They just became Florida residents. So
awesome.
Congratulations to them. It was just so much fun. And we just kind of hung out outside and chatted and everything. Got to bed much later than I would have liked.
I was asleep.
Because we had alarms set for 5 a.m. on Friday morning. 5:15 Friday morning.
I figured I took a shower that night and did my hair. And I was like, all I got to do is put makeup on so I can sleep that extra 15 minutes and get up at 5:15. So that's what we did.
Walk us through 5:15 Friday morning to us going and catching a bus and heading to Magic Kingdom and all that good stuff.
We got up, made sure we had everything, of course. I put my makeup on, and we were probably at the door by 5:30-ish to 5:45-ish.
Yeah, walk it out.
Yeah. And then we were thinking of originally to just Uber. And if they would have had to drop us in the middle of the street, almost just drop us.
Yeah.
But at this point, Rachel was staying at All Star Music.
Yep.
And she was already on a bus.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, babe, why don't we really look at the bus situation? So there was people in line. Unfortunately, they were there since 5 a.m. And it, at this point, was closer to 6. And we all got in this long line, and it was neat again, you know.
It wasn't bad though.
No,
I mean,
not compared to.
I'm thinking of like some of the other. I'm going to call this an opening day. I know it's not an opening day event, but
right.
I'm thinking of some of the other things we've seen. Or shoot, I don't know, a Run Disney.
I
event?
just started to say, yeah,
and Pop Century,
right?
And
I mean,
400
even
people in line,
even staying in one of these bigger places too. on a Run Disney, the line would have been a lot longer, but it really wasn't.
Yep.
So the line was just actually long enough where, I mean, hey, I was like, if I need to stay in, which people, they did fill the bus, but it was awesome. It was about 5:58, and it was the bus coming, and we were like, awesome. So right before 6:00, we were on the bus headed to Magic Kingdom. Again, you know, as Jeremy says, nuts to butts. We were like, hey, can we get any more people on this bus? Like, I will. Somebody
I'm like, I'll ride on the roof if I don't have to wait.
Yep.
Like, I don't care.
And so that was really nice. So we all got there, and then
and I want to say this real quick, and don't mean to interrupt you, but
you're fine.
There's one of the things we see a lot at Coronado is people talking about the buses.
Yeah.
And it's a very large resort, right?
Yeah.
So is any moderate resort. So is any value resort, or basically any Disney resort.
Right.
And people often can complain about the buses. I will say, right now, the buses this weekend were on point.
Mm-hmm.
They were constant.
Mm-hmm.
I was so impressed. Again, down to when we left that night, within 15 minutes, 3 buses for Coronado loading people up.
Yep.
I was so impressed. Disney was so well prepared for this weekend in buses. So I just wanted to get that out there. But we arrive at Magic Kingdom around a little after 6 or so.
A little after 6 or so, where they were still keeping us out. We were on this long line. We went through security, like, simply no problem at all.
And it's busy. I mean, it's packed.
And then we got in line, and then I don't remember the exact time, unless you do, of when they open the gates.
6:20 a.m. It's in my notes.
All right.
They open
there
the
you
gates.
go.
They open the turnstiles.
Yep. So we started going through, and they were explaining over the PA or whatever you call that, that only Main Street's open.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you can shop, you can get some drink from Starbucks or whatever. It was neat walking in because
it's
still dark.
Yeah.
You had tons of cast members standing along line and just like clapping and cheering and saying happy anniversary. And it was really neat. And a lot of them, they weren't wearing masks because now we're outside. And it was neat to see their smiling faces. And it was so just neat. That was amazing.
Handing out the commemorative maps, which are gorgeous. They're so simple on the front. It is that blue with gold writing. There's no imagery, anything. But throughout the map are like kind of those hints of like the gold and the silver foil. They're incredible. Dated. Those were awesome.
It was.
Walking down Main Street, and one of my favorite Disney moments ever was walking into Batu on opening day.
Yes.
And same thing. There's cast members lining the streets, clapping and welcoming you. And they were doing that here. And it's and like the right side was all filled with the confectionery, Main Street confectionery workers.
Yep.
And they all got like their little chef hat type things. And they've got their, white like chef jackets and aprons and all. And that was so cool.
It was.
What wasn't cool was a lot of guests in the Emporium.
Yeah. So at first,
I mean, y'all have seen the videos and stuff, I'm sure.
Yes. This really, really breaks my heart. Because, we wouldn't be at Disney World if that weren't for the amazing cast members.
Yeah.
So y'all need to remember that. Anyways,
right, people, please.
We went into the Emporium. All the doors were open, and then I guess it did start getting crazy busy, where they ended up having to shut them all, and then there was a virtual queue. There was also a virtual queue for the Big Top. There was a lot going on. I thought Jeremy heard me. He didn't.
Yeah, that was my bad.
There was a skew thing to scan and whatever to get in. But we ended up, I'm going to shout out to Kat. Liv was in Boston. She was coming, but she was still in Boston and got us into the Big Top.
Yeah, virtual queue spot.
She's
online guru somehow.
She's amazing. I don't know how she does it. But anyways, yeah, so it was sad. Rachel and I were in the Emporium and it was over the Starbucks cups, basically.
Which will be around for 18 months and we're readily available at Disney Springs just today on Sunday, okay?
And
guys?
This is why it breaks my heart because, I mean, a cast member was shoved. A cast member walked away crying. And I'm sorry, but if it weren't for them, we would not be able to be at Disney World. And I think people forget that.
Yeah, and to be honest, even if this was the most limited merchandise ever, how is that worth it?
It's not.
You know what I mean? I mean, there was one point where cast members had to basically lock arms and build a wall.
Yep, when they were
so that another cast member could restock.
Yep, because they were.
Starbucks tumblers, y'all.
They are beautiful.
They're very pretty.
And I would like to pick one
You're
up.
not shoving someone over it.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
And it was
just, oh.
And then the white ears that I wanted. I'm not sure if they've restocked those. I know that Rachel did pick up, excuse me, Jossie some.
And you had to shove 0 people to acquire them, correct?
Yeah. Excuse me. I mean, I was pushed a little bit. I was knocked into.
Because I walked out because you said, Jeremy, did you get into the virtual queue? And that's when I hadn't heard you before. And again, that was my fault.
Yep.
And you're quick to agree.
No, I mean, I'm just
I'm kidding.
saying, yeah. And
no,
that's
so
why
I walked
you
back out, and then you were like, are you coming back in? Because we were gonna had some cash set aside. We were gonna buy some of the commemorative gift cards,
and you couldn't get back in.
And I could not get back in at that point unless I went and stood in this ridiculous line. So it was fine.
Yeah, and I had money.
I
so
kind of I
fine.
didn't really. I mean, I saw the initial commotion of just a lot of people.
It was crazy.
But I wasn't in there when I think, stuff kind of really started
we
to go down.
heard it.
I
Rachel
think
and
people were escorted out of the park.
Good. They should have been.
Yeah.
Rachel and I were in the room because the room that we were in, to me, I call it the blue room.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I know
which is all the blue 50 merch.
Yep.
The other room was, I'll call the white and iridescent room. And that's what I wanted because I knew the white ears were there. Yeah. And these ears light up and they are stunning.
They are beautiful. How many comments did you get for the rest of the weekend on those? Because
it was
neat.
Neat.
All weekend. People were like, what are those?
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then you hit the little button on the back and they light up and they're like,
yeah, they were so cool. And they're USB.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how
chargeable.
Do they stay lit up forever?
It's really cool. Yeah. USB chargeable.
This is going to be a new thing, I think.
I hope so. And it does not, somebody asked me, is it heavy because of the lights? Is it heavy because of that? No, I don't even realize it's still on my head, to be truthfully honest. So they have rocked the
ears
upping the ears.
I think they really they must have changed something with, like, I guess I'll call it the tension in it, because I know a lot of times people have had issues that it gives them headaches because
that's why
they're
I
tight.
Stopped.
Yeah, and the bottoms come right around your temple.
I used
just
to,
below.
Yep.
So yeah,
I used to wear them and want to, but then they unfortunately gave me headaches. So yeah, I was so excited. And I was so excited because you're only limited to, I can only get 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 for Kat and I, and unfortunately I couldn't get Jossie some, but that's where it was fantastic when Rachel was at Disney Springs and was like, hey, did you want these? And I was like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Those I have not seen since, which I am very grateful and thankful that we did get them, but that does not mean that they will not be back because I got the pass holder ears that we were like, they sold out, I couldn't get them. They are everywhere now, everywhere. So, anyways, yeah, that was,
we got, so there's 5 different commemorative gift cards, and basically you can, we have 4 of them so far. There's 1 for each park, and then there's a 50th in general. Magic Kingdom one has been sold out. But we were able to get 4 of them. You only have to load a minimum of $15.
Correct.
And if you go to DisneyGiftCard.com, you can go ahead and register them. And then I immediately transfer the balances all to an old school gift card because I don't want to lose these. And they're like, 4x4 inch square. They're very awkward and large. They're made to collect. They're not made to like stick in your wallet and use. Yeah. I think because it would take up my whole wallet. But yeah, we went ahead and we were looking to collect those. They have some beautiful 50th anniversary pins.
Mm-hmm.
We do collect pins. We're not too crazy about it. Well, as I look around the office, we're a little crazy. But yeah, we got a couple of those that are just seriously gorgeous. What they have done with the detail, and like I'll go back to the resort real quick. You walk into the room and your TV, of course, Coronado, it's on. It says "Welcome Stein Family." You go to that Disney channel that shows the park times and whatever. The right is lit up in happy 50th anniversary iridescent colors. New room key cards with characters, 6 different ones. We've got Mickey, we've got Minnie, we've got Donald, Daisy, Pluto, and Goofy. All new. 50th anniversary design on them. Pass holders, go to guest services.
Yes.
They will give you a brand new Mickey gold statue.
So cool.
Pass holder card.
Yes.
The pamphlet inside the room. 50th anniversary upgrade. The details that I think they put in across the board. Joffrey's Keurig cups in the room. 50th anniversary, gold, blue, iridescent. The details that they have put in are unbelievable. And look, y'all, I know Disney is really expensive. And I know we're losing a lot of things that used to be included. And I hate that. 100%. But I like when we see things I feel like that come out of it.
Yeah.
And some people might be like, really, dude? You want me to spend more money and then I get a key card that looks cool? I understand that might not be for you.
Yeah.
But I love them.
Yeah.
I'm a key card collector. We've got about 50 from
Oh
Universal.
my goodness. I don't know why.
We collected all 6 of the new character key cards right before they switched them to the 50th. So I don't know. I really think they're doing an incredible job. The merch is all beautiful. I personally think the past 2-3 years, for me, Disney has kind of almost gone a lot overboard on some merch. Like I'm not somebody that wants like a full graphicked out shirt or jacket or whatever. And they've done these just elegant, beautiful touches on things.
Right.
Like the tracksuit jacket that you got me has just this beautiful 50th emblem and stripes down the arms. Like, I don't know. It's been awesome. And we've loved it. So Kat got us the virtual queue, Big Top. We're going to have to wait a little bit for that. In the meantime, as we walked out, we were trying to do however many rides we could that were opening day attractions.
Yep. How many did we get?
6, I believe it was. Let me look it up real quick. But I want you to talk about the lines, because here's the thing. If you were thinking of doing a ride or getting one of the several colored Mickey ear popcorn buckets, which line was longer?
The popcorn lines. Every daggum popcorn selling station had a line.
Like 100 deep, every single one.
Well,
opening to
that's
close,
a little
I feel like.
excessive, but definitely 50.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always long. Like there was not even one point that didn't have a long line. Every single one we walked by. So obviously, and then you've got the merch. People are still in line for the Emporium. People were still trying to get into the Big Top. So with all that being said, it made these rides very short wait times.
Yeah, 5 minutes. We started at Tomorrowland Speedway, which is still there.
We rode it.
I can't remember the last time we rode it.
Jeremy drove.
It was it's funny because it's not a good attraction. It's not.
No.
But it is so much fun because of how ridiculous it. I mean, we laughed the entire time as I'm just trying to steer this thing and slamming left to right on it, right? So,
just about, yeah.
So throughout the day, and it's not like we weren't like literally like we have to ride every opening day attraction or whatever.
Right.
But we did Tomorrowland Speedway. We walked straight on and through Swiss Family Treehouse, which I do love. We did the Jungle Cruise. We did It's a Small World. We did the Haunted Mansion, which was big. That was my I got to do Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
so
that was fun.
So we ended up doing 5 of them. It's about half of the currently available opening day attractions. And of course, some of these have changed. As we were coming out of Small World, we did run into Christy from the Happiest Plate on Earth podcast, a wonderful food-based podcast that I highly recommend you check out and subscribe to. I'm trying to remember, and again, I'm just collecting the day some. We were walking out, and there was a few people I really, again, me as somebody who loves doing this and loves podcasts. I mean, I know you do too, but I'm a big dork about it, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple people that, again, I really look up to. They're kind of role models to me, whether they know it or not.
Right.
And one of those is Lou Mangello, and from WDW Radio. And I know I've told the story before. I met him several years ago at Podfest in Orlando, and we had just started this podcast when it was John and I, and he was so generous to spend like 15 minutes with me over a cup of coffee and give me some pointers and some tips. And so I was really hoping I was going to get an opportunity to see him. And we're walking down Main Street and we see him. And I just went up and just said, hey, don't know if you remember me. And he knows who I am because we're friends on Facebook, and I'm active in his group and stuff. So I got to introduce you to him though. And again, another one of those that he sat there and talked to me for 5-10 minutes or so, and was just so nice and generous and engaged, and wasn't looking at his watch, wasn't looking off in the corner like, oh my goodness, I wish this guy would shut up, And it's just so nice. But what we learned was that as you were exiting the park that day, for potentially a limited time, I don't know how long they lasted.
Correct.
What was available as you exited the park?
A beautiful poster of the castle.
Oh, a 50th.
And it was really neat.
Sparkly.
Yeah.
Probably about 10 by 14, maybe.
Yeah. Probably like that.
I'm going to grab it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about, you guys can't see it. It's posted on social. Yeah, it's probably about maybe a 10 by 14 type size. It is absolutely gorgeous, of the castle, beacons of light with some extra just sparkle going on around the outside. Up in the top left corner is almost like a banner.
It's 11 by 13.
Perfect. Well, there we go. I was close.
11 by 14.
Yeah, so they were handing those out as you exited in a little bag, which was great. So we went ahead and just exited so that we could, get one, and then we came right back in. Which was really cool to be able to go ahead and have that. I don't know if they lasted. I don't know that they lasted through the night, because when we left at night, they weren't there.
Correct.
So I'm going to frame this bad boy, and I'm putting it somewhere, I don't know, above a mantle or something. I don't know. I might take down some pictures of our family and just put it in place, because this thing's amazing.
It is beautiful.
But it was so nice to meet Lou. Again, he was so wonderful and generous. So from there, we ended up heading over to look for the mini sipper. As we were exiting the park to get the poster and go right back in, we saw very, very nice young lady. Oh my goodness. I'm old.
Okay.
I said a nice young lady.
Probably could have been her father.
Probably. But we saw her with the mini sipper.
Yeah. We didn't know it was a mini sipper until she told us. It's a sipper.
Yeah, I thought they were popcorn buckets.
So
there's a Mickey popcorn bucket. There's a mini sipper, and they're in their beautiful iridescent, dress and suit. And so someone said, "Where did you get it?" Because we hadn't seen it at the regular stands. She said, "Well, you can mobile order it from Cosmic Rays
or Pecos Bill." Yeah,
or Pecos Bill. So again, she's so nice. She's like, "Here, I'll show you exactly where I found it." So we go and we're looking for it. It's not listed. And she's like, She's like, "Well," she said, "they had a lot of them. But, maybe it's in the app, and if they're gone before they restock it, it disappears." So she's like, "You might be able to just go over there and ask them." I said, "Okay, let's do that." So we go and we walk over, and you ask the cast member about it. What do they tell you?
Well, he unfortunately said that they're all gone right now, but it made it sound like they could be back. So we looked a couple of times throughout the rest of the day.
Never popped up.
We never saw a Mickey popcorn bucket. And I honestly, if this is going to be over the next 18 months, I bet they're still going to be making these, especially if they're selling them like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not worried about it.
Nope. So we missed out on that, but that's okay.
That's okay. So from there, we were right outside of, Cosmic Race and Tomorrowland Speedway. And I knew that Lynn Testa and Touring Plans was doing basically a Tomorrowland Speedway race contest. They were doing this big thing about it. And so as we're exiting, they were actually exiting. And Saul Lynn, who, of course, has been on the show before, is so, again, nice and generous to always say hello to anytime, I'll say need him.
Yeah.
He's always so awesome about coming on the show and talking about all things Disney. So it was wonderful to see him. And then we got to see Shannon Ford and her incredible family.
Yep.
And her son, Ryder, she had gotten this Mickey iridescent suit on Etsy. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was
I
really
want
neat.
one.
Yep.
And he was so adorable.
Yep.
And they had just done the Tomorrowland Speedway there with Lynn and the Touring Plans group. We had her on not too long ago, maybe 2 months ago, to talk about DVC and all. You were working.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
so
I had her
I'm
on.
like looking like,
she's
what? I don't remember.
Extremely knowledgeable.
Yep.
About DVC and all things Disney, to be honest. So yeah, somebody else that we highly recommend that you follow. Right around that time, we were called. We got the text message, right? As we're walking up to check in for Skipper Canteen.
Well, we
at our
actually
1
kind of already
p.m.
started to check into
Yes,
Skipper
we
Canteen.
had. That's right. What
and
happened?
then the awesome guy, cast member Adam, was standing there, and we got the merch where we can go shop. And I was like, oh.
We specifically got
no.
to Skipper Canteen early because originally we had a reservation for 4, and it was just going to be you and I.
Oh, yeah.
Because the girls were planning on meeting up with us later from the hotel and all. But so we wanted to go early just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, literally you checked us in, and he said they were running about 20 to 25
Well,
minutes behind.
Actually, he didn't tell me that until I walked back up to him, and I was like,
oh, okay.
Adam,
okay.
we just got the thing. Can we go? Like, oh my gosh, are we going to lose our thing, our reservation? And he was like, actually, we're running a little behind. He was like, it's okay. Go ahead. You'll still get this text, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, perfect. And yeah, we went and we got to shop, and we got everything that, Rachel, she had to go to Boathouse for lunch, and we were hanging out all day. So she was like, she was in our group to go to the queue, but she had to leave.
Yeah.
So she told me what she wanted. So we went in there, and I got what I wanted. I got what she wanted. The sad part when we got over there, they had bands, and I believe they were Dooney and Burke, correct?
Yeah, Dooney and Burke opening day magic bands.
That
I had
sold
my eyes set
out.
on that one,
I
and
know.
they were gone.
They
And
were
the
sold
ornaments were gone.
Yes. So with all that being said, it was
Tear.
a little sad, but it's fine.
Yep.
We did get, I got my Spirit jersey, which I was excited about.
Oh, beautiful.
Jeremy got a pass holder shirt. I got another shirt that was really kind of cool looking. We got some pins. So yeah, so we went over there, and then as soon as we were done and checked out, we went straight back over to Skipper Canteen. And probably by the time I told Adam that we were back, maybe 5 minutes, they were calling us to seat us.
Yeah. And another thing I'll say, I talked about the buses earlier and how well that was done. Now, I will say, getting into the virtual queue wasn't the best Disney IT experience.
Yeah.
But once you were in and you were called, again, it was one of those times where everything ran so smooth from check-in to them, looking at your text message to getting in. They were separating pass holders who wanted some extra gear that was going to be behind kind of the registers to non-pass holders that were just ready to check out. And they had so many cast members working. And again, everything just ran very, very well, I think, as far as that went.
Yeah.
Went to Skipper Canteen. Do want to talk about one of the specialty dishes that they have there.
Okay.
Our server, Jonathan, first of all, was amazing.
Yes, he was.
Awesome. We had a beautiful little 2-top table
cute.
right next to the stained glass windows. They're still pumping out great puns and dad jokes, which I, of course, appreciate. And so what we wanted to get, and I didn't realize it was an appetizer, actually. I thought it was a meal.
Yeah.
Which it was. But it's on the appetizer menu, is the veranda fried rice. So this is spicy chili garlic shrimp. It's served over pork fried rice with eggs and peas for $15. When I say pork fried rice, I will say this is, I much more of a pork belly fried rice,
It was so
which is
good.
cool by me.
Yep.
So you enjoyed this?
Yes, very, very much. It was not. I mean, if you do not like any spice at all, I would probably suggest not to get it. But I don't think it was very spicy at all. It was
very mild, but
fantastic.
it's there.
The pork fried rice was light, but almost a little, if crispy's the right word. It was fantastic. Like I was impressed because I've had pork fried rice multiple times and multiple places.
I mean, to me,
this was just really good.
And to me, like a pork fried rice, it's one of those things that normally you're not going to be like, this is a bad pork fried rice. It's pork.
Right.
It's fried rice. It's probably going to be pretty tasty. This was just a wonderful elevator with some of the pork belly and all. And then 6 giant shrimp on top. I'm not going to say anything, okay? 6 giant shrimp on top. Boathouse was on top. I loved it. And so originally we were like, oh, it's an appetizer. We're thinking, okay.
This and
we started looking at 2 separate entrees.
Meals.
Jonathan brings this out and we eat it. He comes back. He's like, are you ready for your entrees? And I was like, that felt like an entree, so I think we're going to split one now.
Yeah.
But what I loved was this was the first day this was available. We were the first people to order it with Jonathan.
Yep.
And he came back and was like, what did you think? How did you find the spice level? He's like, I want to be able to tell other guests what I thought of it, which I really, really appreciated because obviously it had just, started that day. He hasn't had a chance to try it. So I thought that was great. What did we end up ordering, Rhonda? Because we've been to Skipper Canteen a couple times. We love this place.
Oh, yeah.
Most everything we've had is good. This is kind of, I feel like, a signature dish for them.
Yeah.
But it was the first time we had it.
Yeah. And we got the Perkins Thai noodles. It is tofu, seasonal vegetables, and rice noodles tossed in a spicy soy chili garlic sauce. A favorite of our friend Pamela Perkins, Adventures Club president. It is plant-based and available with chicken upon request. So, of course, we did the chicken.
Takes it out of being plant-based.
Correct.
And they replaced the tofu with the chicken.
Correct.
It's not in addition to the tofu.
Right, which I was glad because I've had it before. I don't really like tofu.
When did you have tofu?
I don't know. I've had it before. Probably in the Chinese thing or something.
Okay. I've never had it, actually.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just
going to make it.
Okay. Anyways, this is $25 and oh my goodness, the rice noodles were fantastic. The spicy soy chili garlic sauce was awesome. It wasn't too heavy. It wasn't, it was dressed, as Jeremy will say, well. And yeah.
It was delicious. I loved it.
Okay.
I really, really enjoy. I love Skipper Canteen. I think it's such a good restaurant. And you described everything perfectly with it. You're right. Perfect amount of sauce. Noodles were well cooked. The chicken, it was chicken thighs that were so tender. Good little bits of crisp on them, which I love, and you don't. So certain pieces, it was great. Some pieces were perfect for me, and then some pieces were like perfect for you. Yeah, I do love it here. What do they have to drink? They have a non-alcoholic beverage we wanted to try and a souvenir cup.
Yes, and just so anybody's aware, if you drink liquor, you cannot get that in the Magic Kingdom to
beer
sit down. It is only beer and wine. So if you wanted a sangria or something, you could have that. But I opted for this lemonade. It was almost seemed like a child's thing, but it was cute and I was very excited and I loved it. So it's this lemonade that comes in this little plastic keepsake 50th glass, and it's yellow lemonade, or I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah, I think it's the Odwalla brand lemonade that they serve throughout the park. So it's a standard lemonade.
Yep. But a pink Mickey sugar cube basically came, and I'm sad I didn't put him on. There's I think a little slit that we could have put him on my cup, but he actually came on a plate, and then you drop them in your drink and start stirring around, and everything dissolves and it turns pink and iridescent.
Yes.
It is really, really cool.
And when you say, I'm going to Bob Ross it a little bit. When you say a Mickey sugar cube, like, it's not
A
like
Mickey
it's the
head.
yeah, like it's but it's not like it's just the 3 circle Mickey. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
It's
it's his
Mickey's
full head.
head.
Yeah.
Like nose, the little kind of lines that go around the eyes. You can see the eyes, like the snout.
Yeah.
Is it a snout on a mouse?
A nose.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, nose and all. Like
His ears.
it is really, really cool.
Yep.
How many different kinds of these are there,
There's-
color-wise, and where can you find them?
They are across all 4 parks.
Yeah.
And I do believe it's sit downs. So when we a little spoiler alert, and we'll talk about this not today, but another episode. We did get to go to Space 220.
What?
Uh-huh. Yep.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Hope
And
it was good.
I actually asked if they had it there.
Yeah.
Because this was a sit down and I wanted to get it and take pictures and everything like that. They did not have it, so I'm not sure where
I think
at
because they're not
Epcot.
Disney owned. Would be my
That
guess.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they didn't have it, which is fine. But it is apparently across all 4 parks, and I do believe it's Minnie, Mickey, Donald, and Daisy.
I think so.
I think.
Yeah, and a different color in
Yep.
each one.
Yep.
So a wonderful, wonderful meal
Mhm.
as always at Skipper Canteen. From here, actually, Kaylin came over to meet us, and we were ready though not long after to take a break
Yes.
and head back to the resort to rest before the nighttime activities. And with taking a break, I think we'll take a break now and turn this into a 2-part series because we still have a lot to go over.
Okay.
So what you're going to see, folks, the next 2 episodes is an executive decision, Rhonda. I apologize.
Apparently.
I didn't chat with you prior,
No,
but I'm
you
looking
didn't.
at the
That's all right.
runtime and I'm like, you know what? Our notes, we got a lot more going on. Let's go ahead. We're going to break. We're going to end this episode. When we come back, next episode, you will get to hear our thoughts on going back at nighttime in Enchantment.
Mhm.
The next day, we would head to Epcot. We're going to do a separate full episode on Space 220.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll make this a 2-parter because
Mhm.
I want to make sure that we get every little detail.
Yeah, because we got to
covered.
talk about the Skittle Fudge.
And we will talk about Skittle Fudge next episode.
Yeah.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Appreciate y'all listening. We had such an incredible trip.
We did.
We still have a lot more to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So we will do that next episode, and then the one following, we will talk about Space 220. We ate space, y'all.
Yeah.
I was showing earlier, I guess I could have saved it, but I'm afraid I'll forget. I was showing Lacey the video, and she was so cute because I'm like, we went to space. She's like, it's not space. That's a screen. I'm like,
No, it's
no,
not.
it's not. We went to space. And she's like, no, you didn't. Like, just, you could tell though in the back of her head, she's like, I know that he's trying to mess with me, but at the same time, I'm intrigued. So it was really cool, but we'll cover that here soon. And then very, very soon, we will have our 400th
Oh my goodness.
episode. With that being said, Rhonda,
Mm.
we do want to talk a little bit and announce a little bit something special. Here's what we would like to do as we start to think of our 400th episode, which never, ever, ever happens if people don't listen to us.
Yes. So
So
thank
we
you very
thank
much.
you guys so much. Here's what we'd love to do if you are willing to entertain us is we have set up a Google Voice mail number,
Mm-hmm.
which you can find at 719-642-8405. I tried to get a Florida-based number and like nothing was available. So I think this is like, I don't even know where this is. It's somewhere like in the Midwest or something.
Okay.
And you can leave us a voicemail. We would love to hear your name, where you're from, and then we want to hear about your favorite Disney memory, as well as if you would like how you came about listening to Main Street Magic, because it always intrigues me how people came across our little podcast here. So again, that's 719-642-8405. Your favorite Disney memory, how you came across Main Street Magic, and you may be featured on the 400th episode.
Ooh.
It's a lot of episodes.
It is.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Rhonda, as always, for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Not along only with this episode, but our journey through life and Disney.
Yes.
So if you guys have not already, hit that subscribe button so you can get these episodes every Tuesday and Friday, and you're really going to want to hear this Space 220 episode.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so excited for it. I've been thinking about it already all day, ever since we ate there, to be honest. So as long as you're out there too, if you've subscribed would be wonderful. You can check out wonderlandcrew.com for our Patreon group, mainstreetshirts.com for some merchandise. And we would really, really appreciate if you leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.